I'm Jessie Heredia, and you're listening to Mom Empowered, where I help moms ditch their anger, break free from anxiety, and create the life they've always wanted. This show is for the mom who's ready to become more free and empowered. Hello, ladies. I am so excited to be here today, and I'm really excited about the concept that I'm going to be introducing to you today. That I spent some time thinking about, what do I call this? And I realized I want to call it living in the victory. That's what I'm going to coin this new concept for you guys. And I have a feeling this is going to resonate and encourage a lot of you ladies, maybe even challenge you to think about your life and yourself in a very new and different way. But the reason why I'm doing this today is because one of the things I hear from women is that they feel really far from being the kind of moms and wives and women they want to be. And this is really what my coaching program is for. It's to help women bridge that gap, find all the things that are standing in their way, whether it's their anger or anxiety, confusion, lack of motivation, and then I give them the tools they need to manage those things so that they can then take more empowered action. I call my program Mom Empowered because I believe when a mom feels and is fully empowered, anything becomes possible. And that's the kind of attitude I want you to have even today. I want you to begin to explore what it's like to have an anything is possible perspective. That's what this concept of living in the victory requires. It requires you to dance with possibility. So let's dive in. What is living in the victory? Living in the victory is learning how to show up now as the woman you are working toward becoming, even if you are not yet where you want to be. Even if there are still obstacles standing in your way, even if you've got a whole string of instances and events and mistakes even that would lead you to believe and feel otherwise. Living in the victory is when you look ahead to where you're going, you look ahead to what's possible, and you actually allow that future possibility to change your present right here, right now. And I'll give you a few examples of this because I want to help you understand it more and see it in action. Let's say that you have a vision of becoming a more present, engaged, and joyful mom. Living in the victory for you means beginning to cultivate a life that supports that vision now, even though you may not be fully that present, engaged, and joyful mom you want to be just yet. So what this might mean is you might picture yourself going on more fun outings with the kids, participating more in their play and their learning. You might picture yourself spending time with the kids without your phone always just glued to your hand. You might see yourself handling tantrums with more ease and disciplining more from a place of love instead of anger. You might imagine how connected you will feel to them, how playful you would be with them, how joyful your kids would be to have you enter into their world and be fully present in it. When you see this vision, and then you look at where you're at now, or you look at where you've been, your track record for how you have been showing up as a mom, which might be half distracted, easily irritated, not fully engaged moment to moment. If you are looking at where you are or where you've been, you might think that becoming this kind of mom you want to be is going to be a long and hard process. You might even think it's nearly impossible because of how you've tried in the past or because of how quickly you resort back to these old habits and patterns and how you make excuses. You might allow yourself to feel discouraged. But I want to bring awareness to how the only reason for why you would be feeling that way would be because you've taken your eyes off of the vision, off of what's ahead, where you're headed, where you want to be, where you're going, and you're instead looking back at the gap, the distance between where you are and where you want to be. This is where so many women fall off course in becoming the kind of women they want to be or cultivating the kind of life they want to have. They start off strong in the pursuit of their goals, this goal for their future because they have their eyes on this vision. And then somewhere along the way, they take their eyes off of the vision and they look at the gap and the obstacles instead, or they just completely turn around and just look at what's behind them, this trail of failure and mistakes or inaction. And when you're in this place, it's no wonder you stop moving forward. You remind yourself of how far you feel from the victory, and so you keep yourself from stepping into it. But living in the victory is what happens when you keep your eye on the vision, on the goal, on where you're headed. Going back to this example of being a mom who's looking ahead to a future version of herself, who is present and engaged and full of joy and loves being around her kids. If this is what you are identifying that you want, and if you commit to focusing on this as your only influence, forgetting everything else, you would by default experience change almost instantly. Now, the next time your kids say, "Mommy, will you play with me?" you'll be more likely to say yes. Now, when you plan out your day, it won't just automatically revolve around this never-ending to-do list. Now, when your toddler's throwing a tantrum or asking the same question for the 100th time, you're able to respond more calmly and with patience because you're not thinking from the place that you're at, stressed, tired, too busy, and you're also not thinking about yourself as you have been. Like maybe how you failed in the past and when you were the opposite of the kind of mom you want to be. You're instead thinking about who you're becoming. You're imagining the possibility. You're embodying the possibility. And from the energy of being in this place in your mind, in your imagination, you end up living out the victory right here, right now, more and more each day. The possibility becomes your reality. Learning how to live in the victory takes practice, but it can start with something as simple as sitting down each morning and asking yourself, if I already was blank, in this case, a present, more engaged, joy filled mom, if I already was blank, what would I be doing today? How would I show up for my kids today? What decisions would I be making? What would I say yes to? What would I say no to? How would I spend my time? What would I feel and believe about my life and myself and my kids? Even just taking the 5 to 10 minutes it might take to answer these questions changes you. It takes you out of impossibility and into a place of possibility. It forces you to channel more of your imagination and your creativity and problem solving. It requires you to get specific on things that you maybe haven't given any thought to. Like, what does a present, engaged, joyful mom do when her husband has to suddenly work on the weekend? Oh, that's right. She probably goes to the dollar section in Target and she stocks up on some crafts, or she takes the kids out to the driveway with some chalk to write welcome home messages for when daddy comes home. Maybe she has dance parties in the kitchen. Maybe she does a movie night, a big movie day, a big movie marathon. She doesn't just mope and dread the day and then spend it on her phone, wishing he was home. She doesn't look at the clock and think to herself, it's only 10 in the morning. How are we going to make it through this? She looks at the clock and says, it's only 10 in the morning. How do we want to spend this? What could we do? What fun could we have ahead of us? The present, engaged, more joyful version of you has the confidence and the energy to make fun happen, to make these magical moments happen. And then she films it to send videos to her husband so that he can enjoy it too. Instead of just sending him texts like, this sucks. I hate this. I wish you were home. Are you coming home yet? What does a present, engaged, joyful mom think and feel about her kids? She probably sees them as they are. She sees them as kids. She gives them space to be their age and she allows them to behave appropriately for that age. She doesn't freak out when they are freaking out because she's thinking that they're just going to be these ungrateful, undisciplined, unruly teenagers or adolescents, she knows that her kids are growing and are still in process, and that for today, for just this moment even, they are okay. They are enough. She is doing enough. If something her kids are doing really is a reoccurring problem, she trusts that she has the problem solving skills and the resources and the creativity to go solve it. Thinking from the perspective of where you want to be and who you want to be challenges you to get out of the default mode you go to in your mind, which might be a place where you are often overthinking things or underestimating what you're capable of, assuming the worst, expecting things to be hard. Thinking from the perspective of where you want to be and who you want to be makes room in your mind for what is far more productive, so that you can then experience more breakthrough and more victory now than you would be able to otherwise. I remember when I was still new in my coaching business, I started asking myself, what would I be doing, feeling, or thinking differently about myself and my business if I was already a 50K earner? I asked myself this frequently because my default mode of doubt and second guessing and not managing my time well and wondering, am I even able to do this? All of that still existed. And I needed to keep getting out of that. I needed to keep reminding myself to get out of that, to look ahead to the future and stay focused on my vision. So I would ask myself this question. I would list things out like, if I really, was a 50K earner, I would probably stop spending so much time trying to prove things to other people in my Instagram stories. I would wake up earlier and spend more time taking care of myself and fueling myself, because I would have a full load of clients who would need me to show up ready to serve and help them. I would stop obsessing over the number of likes and comments I have. And I would just be committed to keep putting content out there to offer value no matter what. I would be in a place of sufficiency, not desperation. If I was a 50K earning coach, I would wear the title of life coach with pride and excitement around everybody, instead of feeling awkward or getting embarrassed or wanting to hide it. These are the kinds of things I observed and I took note of and I reminded myself of, and I didn't allow myself to go into a shame spiral for not being there yet. I didn't look back at my past failures and my mistakes and then use that as evidence for why all of this was not plausible or possible. I just kept my eyes focused on where I'm headed, what that Jessie would be doing, thinking, and feeling, and zeroing in on those things was actually enough for me to start moving. I found myself wasting less time, being less obsessive over things that didn't matter, which helped me show up more freely and confidently and serve more. I started waking up earlier and making time for my self-care no matter what it took, which for me looked like morning runs, which was what enabled me to have the energy for when I did have that full load of clients and while pregnant. Because the 50K earning Jessie isn't going to stop showing up for herself or for others just because life is busy or she feels more tired or she's growing a baby inside of her. No, 50K Jessie finds a way to make it work. She's committed to her business and providing that income for her family. And she's committed to taking care of herself and staying healthy in the process. These were all the things I zeroed in on and I started implementing just as a result of me continually looking ahead, looking to the victory. These turned out to be the very things that enabled me to get to the victory. To become not just a 50K earning Jessie, but a Jessie who's building a business that will make far more money and have far more impact than that. Now, my new task is asking myself, okay, what does a 100K earning or 200K earning Jessie do? How does she feel about herself today? What are her non-negotiables? How does she spend her time? How does she feel about money? Asking myself these questions is influencing everything for me. My confidence level, my decision making, how I spend my time, everything. You might be thinking right now, well, All of that sounds nice, but I have real problems. This can't apply to my situation right now, but I promise you it can. This concept of living in the victory can be applied to all things, even your depression, your anxiety, your struggles with anger in your marriage. If I were to be on a coaching call with you today and you were dealing with any one of these things, I would still challenge you with these questions. I would still push you to live in the victory. We would work together to make your list, and I would have you do it over and over again until you see the breakthrough happening, which in my experience doesn't take long at all. It is always so pleasantly surprising. What would a not depressed, not anxious version of you be doing? What would the version of you who actually is free and healthy and full of joy, what would she be doing and feeling and thinking? Maybe she would hear the baby crying first thing in the morning. And instead of laying there in dread and that feeling of powerlessness, she would walk over to her baby and inhale the scent of that precious, precious head. And she would sway with her and feel safe in that moment. I want to point out to some of you that as I described this image just now, you probably imagined yourself doing it. And even for just that one moment, something changed in you. The victory became more possible to you. And now, the next time you're laying in bed and the baby is crying, and a little part of you is just dying inside, you might find yourself thinking about getting out of bed to go inhale your baby's scent. You may even step into that victory. In that moment, you may become more of the free and healthy and joy-filled mom you've been dreaming of being. What would the best, happiest version of me as a wife be doing or thinking differently? That's a big one. She would let more of the little things go. She would care more about enjoying the time she has with her husband, her best friend, than nitpicking the fact that he left the clothes on the floor again. She wouldn't be resentful when asking him to help with the dishes. She would communicate with love and with confidence. Hey babe, can you help me with the dishes tonight? So that we can get the kids down for bed a bit faster and start our evening together sooner. The happiest, healthiest version of you as a wife probably wouldn't be dreading intimacy. She wouldn't keep pushing it off. She would look at her week, find some of the best, easiest, most fulfilling ways for that time to happen, knowing and believing that it would be worth it to feel that connected. And she would feel connected because the best, happiest version of you as a wife would probably approach intimacy with the energy of, I'm beautiful and I'm wanted. This is my partner, my lover, the father of my children. He knows me. I know him. I love him. Living in the victory doesn't just change you, it changes your relationships. It changes everything. It enables people around you to see you differently too. They will see a woman who knows what she wants and isn't just bogged down by the same shame or doubt anymore. They will see a woman filled with hope and excitement and confidence about the future. They will see a woman who is content and at peace with who she is and where she's at in the present. It is so easy for us to want to refer back to our past when we're trying to define ourselves. But I want to propose to you that we instead refer to the future, your future. Whatever it is that you want to accomplish, whoever it is you want to become, let that be what you carry with you. Just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it's not possible. Even just dancing with the possibility of it is enough to start making it inevitable. And this is what living in the victory is all about. I want to see you doing this. I want to see you living in the victory, ladies. I want to challenge you to use this exercise in order to show up now as the woman you are becoming. Because you have that freedom, you have that ability and authority and creativity. If you allow it to, this concept can become just as natural to you as your self-doubt and self-sabotaging may feel at the moment. Because the more you practice this, the more you are giving your brain the opportunity to rewire some of those neural pathways and thought patterns that are not serving you. This is the power of cultivating new beliefs, practicing new thoughts. That's really all that's going on here. You're allowing yourself the option to dive deeper into the mind of who you want to be which really is the same mind you already have. There's just some other junk rattling around in there right now that you can deal with. It needs to be dealt with, or it can be dumped in the dumpster altogether. Take that trash out. That woman you are hoping to become in the future, you already are her. Remove the obstacles and bridge the gap by taking your focus off of the obstacles and gap and just focusing ahead to who you are becoming and allowing that to become possible for you right now. And if you think you would like help with this, if you are ready for a coach, a guide, a source of accountability in this, I'm your girl. I would love nothing more than to explore your goals together, talk about what's standing in your way, and then give you more information on how enrolling in Mom Empowered and working with me can help you get all of those things out of your way so that we can get you where you want to go. If you're ready to learn more, or if you want to hop on a free call, you can visit my website, jessiearedia.com/coaching, and we'll chat more. But that's what I've got for you ladies today. This is what I want to see for you. I want to see you living in the victory. It is possible for you, even today. I am rooting for you. I love you all. And we will chat again next week.